moved to Chester in 2006. I wanted a bigger studio. I worked for the world's largest video screen, the Fremont Street Experience. I ran the company that produced the light and sound shows for that. I've painted large murals for hospitals. I've painted ceiling murals in a dental office. I've painted the dive tank at the welding school, the underwater dive tank. That was interesting, actually. I was lead animator on the Lion King video game. I found a school in the Sandhills that had the whole upstairs with skylights, and it's like, oh my God, this is so great. Why am I building a studio in the backyard of my house in Vegas when I can have this giant building for 14,000 square feet with skylights? And why am I even putting skylights in my house in Vegas? Why aren't we just packing and moving? The closest airport was 6 hours away, and it was just too far. So I kept looking, and then I came across the school in Chester. It was perfect for what I was looking for. I was looking for a lot of space. I'm into a lot of different things, and I thought, well, if I had a classroom for every medium that I work in, that would be perfect for me. I would never have to put away my tools. My retirement goal is to have an artist retreat. So it was just a perfect building. It was February, and the weather was perfect, absolutely perfect. And we thought, wow, this is great for February. We're wearing shorts. It hasn't been that way since. My first thoughts of Chester were that it was very small. I've lived in small towns before, but it was very small. After being here for 15 years, Chester is actually pretty big. The best thing about having the giant studio is that I live there. I don't ever have to leave. You know, I get up in the morning, I go to bed when I want. I don't have to get in the car or go anywhere. I just walk downstairs, go to sleep, get up, go to whatever studio I decide I'm going to work in that day, and work. I paint, I carve wood, I've carved church pews, I sculpt ceramics, I do glass work, fusing, stained glass, glass mosaic, candle making, and tie-dye, and stop frame animation. I bought a plasma torch because I've always wanted a plasma torch. And I thought, oh, this will be fun. I called my friend who's a welder and I said, hey, come over and show me how to turn this thing on. He gave me a quick, I don't know, maybe 20-minute lesson and left. And then he came back the next day and I cut everything, everything that I had that was flat and metal. And I'm like, I don't have any more shovels, I don't have any more metal, I need something else to cut. I get my saws through yard sales, estate sales, and I have several people who collect saws for me, and they go to all the auctions and they hunt them down. I call them my saw hunters. They'll call me and say, hey, Cindy, I've got 50 saws, can you meet me in New York? I'm really into miniatures. I love doing miniature art. And every year I enter a miniature show in Grand Island. And I thought, this year I'm going to do something different because I always do paintings for that. And I decided to do something different this year. And I thought, I'm going to do a carved pencil. And I decided to use a carpenter pencil because it has a wider lead. And I thought, well, my first time carving, I should do something that's a little easier than a standard pencil. Looking at it, the end of the carpenter pencil, it looked like kind of like a tunnel. It could be a tunnel. So I decided to do a train, to carve a train coming out of a tunnel on the end of the pencil. That very first pencil took me about 10 hours. And I thought, oh, I'll get a microscope. And the microscope will make it go faster. Well, I was wrong. I was so wrong. Because now I can see more detail. And now I can put rivets on the seams of the engine. And it's so micro, but I can see so much clearer with a microscope that it takes me about 20 hours now to do a train when it used to take me 10. I've always been creative. Forever, always. My long-term goal is to have an artist retreat. Honestly, I think I'd be comfortable wherever I was. At least I would hope I would be. Community is very important to me. I ended up finding this place, and it was perfect for my needs and what I wanted to do for the future. It was just a perfect building.